Porta Corsa, Italy. It's our one kind of made-up place that we go visit. And as we were creating it, I just said, make it so beautiful that you just want to look at it and go, oh, I want to go there.
In Porta Corsa, we're telling 3 stories, essentially, all at the same time, and they're all interwoven and overlapping. Mater infiltrating the Lemonhead meeting, and we have Holly and Finn trying to figure out what's happening with this camera, and we also have McQueen and the race. And they're all happening simultaneously and in different parts of the town. So it's been a real challenge trying to make the audience understand where they are, what's happening, how they tie together.
We really needed to invent the city to get what we needed to incorporate all aspects of this complex story. Porta Corsa is a blend of Monaco and Portofino, trying to get the glitz of Monaco combined with the charm of the Italian Riviera.
It's one of my favorite sets. It's just a gorgeous set based on what we saw on our European trip.
We went to Portofino, which is on the Italian Riviera.
Portofino is not off a highway. The point of Portofino is that you're wealthy enough that somebody drove you there or that you took your yacht there yourself.
Oh, it's so beautiful, the gorgeous architecture. The setting is spectacular in this little bay.
It's very small. It's built right on the water, along the waterfront. So how would you imagine race cars come through this town?
Fast. We also drove along the coastline there to Monaco.
We stopped in Monte Carlo, which is the capital of Monaco. It's a city and a country in one, on the Thursday before this big Grand Prix race was coming to town. So you could drive on the race course, and all the banners were up and all the flags and everything, but the race teams were off to the side of this point.
I feel like we're driving on the race course and nobody really cares. I love Europe.
It was amazing. We were literally in the middle of what was going to be the race for the next day.
Monaco is ridiculous. There are 400 yachts in the harbor, and these are $12 to $20 million yachts, and they're just everywhere.
We were seeing the city in a form that it only really takes once a year, but it's kind of the most iconic race of that whole series.
It was one of the most thrilling things that I've ever seen. Just to have all of the F1 fans and the F1 racing, like within the city streets, was just incredible.
In our story, our participants, like McQueen and the rest, are going to race in something that's very reminiscent of the Grand Prix at Monaco.
They have the F1 race there, and it is on the waterfront with yachts in the harbor. So you have cars racing, and people are very close, and there's nowhere for the cars to go. If they run into trouble, they just hit a wall and they wreck. It's not a modern kind of safe F1 course. It's a traditional, romantic, passionate European F1 course.
So when we styled the town, we styled it in a way that would offer the same sort of look and feel and excitement of racing in Monaco. Through the city streets and along the ocean, along the sides of cliffs.
The starting point is around the pits itself, and there's a marina that butts up against it with all the boats that have crowded around to watch the race. There's that hairpin turn, and then kind of the east side cliffs where they race down past the minions who are trying to zap them with the camera, and then they go into Casino Hill and then back toward the pits.
We tried to find the quintessential elements of things that were Monaco, like the harbor. And we tried to look at the quintessential elements of Portofino, buildings that are several hundred years old, built by Italian craftsmen, and then try to put those two elements together until we found the right combination.
We drew the colors all from the Riviera palette of red tile roofs, painted stucco.
Coral and orange and yellow colored buildings with the green shutters, and the contrast of those really saturated warm colors and that beautifully azure blue water.
So it has this really playful resort feeling. And the grandstands are all gleaming glass and brushed steel, trying to incorporate the very contemporary look of Italian design.
Porta Corsa, it's Italian Riviera, it has to be sunny and golden like it's dipped in honey, and it's that sun-baked Southern Europe kind of look.
And we decided that our mountain ranges would emulate classic Italian cars.
Porta Corsa is actually a pretty dangerous place to race. There's these high bridges, there's these sharp turns, there's these narrow streets. This film is a very family-friendly film, and we want to keep it that way, but we also, we want it to be an action film. We want it to be exciting. So a pretty serious crash happens.
These guys are professional drivers. These guys are the best in the world. So they can limit the amount of damage on each other, but it did end up being a big pileup.
We try to push it as far as we can to make the audience just have a gut reaction of like, oh no, kind of a thing, but don't push it too far where they're like, oh, they're dead.
Did you say idiot? Is that how you see me?
So this is a very special kind of moment in the movie for Mater. It's all on Mater's face of how he's hearing and realizing what he's saying. And this is like the loss of innocence, He realizes that people are laughing, not with him, but at him. And it's really kind of sad and touching.
It's a very internal moment. It's not a very broad acting, but it's very subtle, with little eye darts and realizing what's going on.
And the location they chose outside the casino, we never even intended to film close up there. It's a kick on this movie. The layout has actually found many very photogenic places that we never intended to shoot from.
It was like being on location in one of the most amazing cities in the world. And I was so impressed by the work that our teams have done. I wanted to show it off.